All the demons trying to trap my soul. It's okay to fall back, too many my business. Watch me say this word is cold, too much envy. One day I'ma sit you down and tell you what's going on. I pray you understand me, too much going on. Everybody favorite line is damn, that's crazy. So sick and tired of hearing damn, that shit crazy. You be crying out for help, but nobody noticed. He told me to go through what I go through, just stay focused. Keep a smile on your face. Going through the much like every day. No B&B, got so much pain inside of me. Try to move on, feel like it's on me. Talk to God sometimes, I feel like he don't hear me. Wish I could call my dog up for a ride.
Yeah, so make sure you start speaking to Mike. I see all the children. You said turn it down?
What, bro?
Alright, hello. Alright, what's up, everybody? Welcome to As the Culture Turns. This is our first episode. My name is Jameer.
My name is, sorry, Chanel.
My name is Chanel.
My name is John LeBron.
Alright, and this is our first episode. So I really wanted to explain the purpose of this podcast. Again, it's called As the Culture Turns, and the purpose is really to inspire the youth and to just, you feel me, be able to have those uncomfortable conversations that is not popular to have in our community. I am the person that came up with As the Culture Turns, and I'm just so happy that Chanel and John, went on this journey with me. So again, thank you all. I can tell you a little bit about myself. Like I said, my name's Jameer, 26 years old. Sorry, can you hear me? Yeah, 26 years old. Honestly, from Chester. Sorry, a little nervous. Yeah, from Chester, and always wanted to have a career in media. Just really didn't know how to, get there. But I'm thankful for CMP Radio for giving me this platform to be able to, reach out to the youth and all that. I want to introduce my co-host to you. I guess Chanel, you can tell a little bit about yourself.
Sure. My name is Chanel. I'm also 26 years old. Also from Chester. I know John and Jameer from coming up in elementary and high school. So I knew John from Columbus. So we go all the way back from Columbus days. And we reconnected in high school and became really good friends. And then I met Jameer when I went to Village Charter in 6th grade. So, shout out to Columbus and Village. So over the years, I've always known these guys. We will always be cordial with each other, and I wouldn't say we was best of friends, but we just kind of just had a nice mutual friendship. So when Mir, you asked me about the podcast, I was just I was surprised. Honestly, I really was surprised to hear that you were actually starting a podcast and that I was actually a person that you wanted to be on the show. So I just want to say thank you for the opportunity to give me the platform, because I've always wanted to have my voice out there, but I just never really thought about which way I would do it.
Yes.
So, a little bit about me is right now I am working in the school district as a counselor. I really wouldn't consider myself here as a representative of the school district. I'm just a person that care about the youth. And so I would say my journey starting off with the youth actually go all the way back. A lot of y'all don't know this, but it go all the way back to Chester Education Foundation. So back when I was in high school, Miss Green, she had a mentoring program where a couple of the upperclassmen, maybe when I was in 10th or 11th grade, and we would go to Columbus and mentor the 4th or 5th graders on drug prevention, friendship, stuff like that. So I always really enjoyed doing that type of stuff. I've always really enjoyed just having friends and helping them do what they need to do. So I think that me being a counselor is not a job for me, it's a personality type.
Yes.
Because I wouldn't have considered myself a counselor when I was in high school. But that's what I really was doing.
Yes.
So so that's where my counseling journey started. but I just started my professional journey like 3 years ago, when I went to grad school and really fell in love with the profession. I also, like, I interned in Chester, and then when they had an opening, I really was actually skeptical to apply, but I applied anyway, and then I got the position. So I've been there ever since. Working at high school is actually a really, really fun job. So, I mean, that's just me from, like, surface. But I just wanted to, like, you know, just put it out there that, like, I don't think that I'm like, I don't see myself as a counselor. I just know that's my position. But I also just think that that's something that I've just been born to do. That's my talent.
Right.
So,
I feel you.
yeah.
Now, that's good. All right, and John.
All right, everybody. My name is John LeBron. 27 years old. Chester, PA. Stand up. We're here to make a difference. You know, change. You know, the youth mind more than anything. That's more important for me to validate that and speak about that. But to get a little bit about myself, I'm the owner of LeBron Construction LLC, which is a residential commercial improvement project company, and we're on the verge of breaking some barriers, and I'll talk about that a little later on down the road. But I want to thank Jameer Caldwell, my man.
Thank you, bro.
For giving me the opportunity
Yes.
to speak on this podcast, because when he brought this to me, I was telling my wife one time, I said, man, I always want to do a podcast. And I'm like, nah, that was an idea.
Yes.
Then when you brought the idea to me, I was like, yo, this gotta be God, because it's crazy how the platform just came along.
Yes.
You know, and like you created everything, you had your own ideas, and you had a perspective about it.
Yes.
And the whole perspective was to speak to the youth. Let's reach out to the youth.
Uplift
and
the youth.
And uplift the youth, because that's what we need in Chester.
Yes.
We don't have a lot of, role models. We have role models, but I feel as though it's not enough that's really in the trenches with them, trying to change people's mindset more than anything.
Yes.
And that's the approach, change the mindset. And you can stay in the same habitat and environment, but if you could change this, because I've done it, if you could change this, then you could change the world.
Exactly.
You know?
That's true.
Yeah.
And I want to say, big up Chanel too, because what you do in this community for these young guys and these young women is important. And we need that. And you inspired me to do more. You inspired me to help people more. So I just want to say thank you. And shout out to my son, man, John Jr., man.
Hey, John
shout out
Jr.
to my
watching
son,
right
man.
now.
So I want to say,
got
thank
a
you.
great role model, man.
Thank you,
John,
Chanel.
you've always
Yes.
been a good dude,
Yeah,
regardless of
great
whatever.
back.
You
Yep,
got a
thank
good
you.
role model.
I just want to say, man, thanks to y'all too for this opportunity, man. That's all I have to say.
All right.
Yep.
And then I can explain myself a little better. Again, I'm 26 years old. Right now, I've been working as a recreation assistant with the geriatric population. Journalism or just working in radio and media has always been a passion of mine. Like I was trying to say earlier, I always felt like it wasn't a dream that I could achieve, because I felt like it wasn't enough people around even supporting the idea, or I just didn't see it around me. Sorry. Also, I just want to thank John and Chanel for joining the podcast, for the simple fact that I knew that it wasn't something that I could do alone.
Right.
I knew I needed a team, specifically someone like John, who is married, and he's a husband.
Yeah.
I'm out here, I'm single
And a
with no
father.
kids. Yeah, I mean, I said married and a husband.
And a father.
He's married and a father. And then even with Chanel, I always wanted to have that female opinion on this podcast
Great
as
opinions,
well,
too.
And like you said, she has great opinions, and I just feel like we all can make one great team, and we all bring things individually to the podcast, but we also can be great as a team.
Yep.
So we'll get into the purpose of the podcast. Like we said, the purpose is to cover topics such as entrepreneurship, health and wellness, relationships, and current events that directly affect our community.
Yep.
I'm a big advocate for mental health. I'm someone that always talk about it. Not really afraid to talk about it. I do notice that when I talk to other people about it, they get very uncomfortable. So I know that's something that I want to make a little bit more comfortable, talking about your mental health, actually getting the help for your mental health, and not just sweeping it under the rugs that we've been doing, almost all our lives, especially specifically within the Black and Hispanic communities.
Yep.
It's not something that we really take serious.
And another thing, sorry.
No, you're good.
And another thing, I feel as though, us as being minorities, Black, Latino, we face a lot of adversity itself, as being a minority. As a Black man walking down the street in a suburban neighborhood, they're going to look at you different.
Definitely.
Just like a Mexican or a Latino, you'll get looked different for just being a different race.
Yes.
Yeah.
You know, and it's absurd to me because I'm looking at people. I don't look at color.
I don't either.
I look at people. You know who you are. You know what's your values in life. You know what's your purpose in life.
Yeah.
And I always try to explain myself to even to myself. Sometimes I'm weird because I talk to myself like, "Yo, man, what you doing?" Like, you know, push yourself a little bit more. And I always try to help people, encourage other folks. Even when I was young, I always was like that, pushing people, encouraging people.
Yeah.
And that's just my purpose, man. Because we could do better if we just put our mind to it.
Yeah, and if we were more united as well. I feel
I
like
agree.
everybody, like we said the other day, everybody want to be a chief. Nobody want to be an Indian.
Right,
Like, come on,
right.
like, you know,
Yeah.
So I just feel like what you said, John, we can do better. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And as minorities, we can stick together. And like we said before, like we see each other as brothers and sisters in the whole thing.
Yeah.
So let's just be this is why we here. We trying to
Unite.
change the culture
Yeah,
when
turn
it
it.
comes to coming together, when
Yeah.
it comes to our mental health. Like we changing how we look and stuff.
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
know?
and we also gotta stop being in competition with each other.
Ooh,
You know,
that's a
I
good
really
one.
feel like if we
It's a good one.
literally just try to team up and support the other one, we can be so much better as a people.
I agree.
I don't really understand the whole crabs in the barrel mindset that really kind of goes on. So again, with this podcast, we want to change the culture into uplifting each other,
Mhm.
which is a reason why we wanted to join CMP Radio, because I like what they're doing with the community
Yep.
already, and even the CMP, which stands for Cultivating Mature Positivity.
Mhm.
And that's the thing. I've always wanted this podcast to be something positive. I've had a lot of people telling me, you know, trying to change the direction of it, and I was always stern on what direction I wanted it to go in.
Okay.
And even before I had John and Chanel, you feel me, this podcast had other people on there, and it just didn't work out, you know. So again, everything is about timing, and I feel like this is the perfect time for a podcast like this because, as we say, we're trying to turn the culture into something more positive, you know. And I feel like it's a lot that go on in our culture that we don't address.
Right.
Whether it's like I said, mental health, even talking about things about politics and
Yep.
other things that may be very uncomfortable, like you know, molestation that goes on in
Yeah.
families. It's a lot of
Yeah.
things that we sweep under the rug that we
Yeah, and
no longer need to.
we ignore family habits, you know, generational habits. We ignore that. Alcohol, you know, drinking a lot of alcohol, consuming alcohol, doing, you know, drugs and stuff like that. You know, it really messes with your mind more than anything. And I feel as though, you know, if people grow from that. Listen, you can go out and party, have fun, do your thing, but you ain't gotta overdo it either. You know,
Yeah.
especially people in our community where we come from, because the first thing we start doing is, you know, everybody want to start doing certain things and then get involved in the street life. And it's so much opportunities out here. But if we can create our own opportunities, start a landscaping company, do
Yeah.
small stuff like that, you know, that's breaking barriers itself. And what Jameer started with this podcast here is breaking a barrier. You know,
Yeah.
he's setting a standard now. If I can do it, why can't you do it, young man or young lady? It's all about growth. And, you know, and Chanel, what she's doing, like I said, I admire what she's doing so much, you know, as a young woman in Chester. You know, she's breaking just barriers with these young kids. You know, she's getting in them. She's very involved in their life. And I would like, you know, to speak about that more too, Chanel, if you can.
Oh, sure. So I guess all right, so I learned how to be a counselor when you go through your internship. And so I want to just go through and just say that I learned from the counselors in Chester how to be a counselor. Like, obviously, like, you know, we were in the classroom, but when it was like shoes and boots on the ground and doing the work, I really just picked up a lot of my practices from the counselors that I was under. So when it comes down to it, as far as just being there for the kids, like most of the kids that I deal with, they all got my phone number.
Yeah, okay.
Most of them follow me on Facebook, so
Okay.
you know they can see what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So that's why I do censor myself.
Yeah.
But most of the
agree.
time I don't really do too much anyway. Like
Yeah.
whatever. But so I think for myself, I see a lot of myself in the youth at Chester
Yeah, okay.
because I honestly think that they've been through a lot more than I have in high
Yes.
school. And I just want to take a second to just recognize and acknowledge that this past weekend we lost one of our students.
R.I.P. Vermont
Yes, sir.
Burden.
Yeah,
Sorry.
no,
That's
it
well,
is.
yeah.
I just want to take a second to like let y'all know that, like, you know, the stereotype is that the kids are bad, and the first thing that people are thinking when they hear that this young man passed is that he was into something.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
that is
I
like,
agree.
come on,
Yeah, I
like you
agree.
don't even know what he was doing
Yeah.
or what plans he had at
Yeah.
first. Like you just saw a young black guy killed, and then you just went with, oh, I don't know what he was into. What was he into?
Yeah, I agree. I
So
agree.
first off, let's just start there. That we can't be putting these negative stereotypes on our kids.
Yes.
And then I would like to say that I always go in with a positive mind.
Me-
Whatever argument I had with you yesterday, we over there
Hash it
and
out.
what's going on today.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep.
So that's just how I operate, and that's the kind of person I am.
Mhm.
So it's not intentional that I'm going in here and trying to like baby the kids or just like do whatever. I just feel like that's just the person I am.
Yep.
I'm a concerned individual because when I was in high school, we went through losses and stuff like
Oh,
that.
yeah. Oh,
But I
yeah,
had
a lot.
nobody like,
Yeah.
oh, how are you? What's going
Yeah.
on? Like I had to go to class, and
Yeah.
like nobody
Yeah,
was
I
treating
agree.
you any differently.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So I just think that having the opportunity to change how we treat our kids,
Yes.
it goes a little bit further than like the yelling and the mean and stuff that
Mhm.
people can say to your kids.
Yep.
And so I just and because I'm from Chester, I'm younger, I feel like they can see a little bit
Yes, they
of
can
like,
relate.
oh yeah, you went to Chester High, and how the negative stereotype is about
Right,
Chester High. That's
yep.
not me.
Yes. Definitely.
So that's just a little bit of like how I operate when it comes to just treating the kids with respect
Mm-hmm.
and just hearing them out for what they're saying.
Uh-huh.
I don't get on a lot of like the cursing and stuff because everybody curse,
Yeah.
but like I just try to hear them out for who they are. And that's just like I said, the type of person I am. It's not me like trying to coddle and I guess be I don't know like soft on them or something.
Yeah.
But I just feel like they need it.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
They need some
somebody
love.
to say, like, oh, I'm proud of you. Like, oh my gosh, that was so good. Like, even whatever they did, like the football games, I make sure I go when I can.
Yes.
I'm actually looking at one of our alumni to see when his football schedule is, so I can like go out to a game
Okay.
and just like show him like, yeah, I'm here
Yeah,
for you,
right,
even
right.
after high school.
After high school.
Yeah.
So yeah, I try to do stuff like that.
Yeah.
Even if I can speak for all three of us, this situation, we graduated 2011. It's the best class that graduated from
Okay.
Chester
Right,
High.
no.
We so nice.
2011.
We number one twice.
Twice.
Okay.
I would like to, I wanted to say too about this. Before we graduated, we lost a lot of friends. That was supposed to
Yeah.
graduate with us,
Mhm.
and even after we graduated, we lost so many other friends.
Mhm.
And it's like, man, is life is that short? So that's
Yeah.
why I want to let everybody know, man. Please take these opportunities, man, to embrace your life, honor your life, and protect your life as well.
Yeah.
Don't put yourself in no dangerous situation. You can't get out of. One of my close friends, Darnell Coley. We lost him
Yeah.
a couple years ago.
It's a whole list.
and Andre
Like
Morales,
Jasmine.
Yeah.
Toby, Vaughn. We lost so many people. And it's like life is
Right.
not about that. Andre,
Mhm.
we lost too many people. And I just want to say, everybody, just stay focused, stay humble. And life is too short to be living that. Even some people don't even live that lifestyle, and still something happens to them.
Yeah.
But just take grasp of your life, man. Control your life. If you got anything going on, reach out to and all three of us,
Yeah.
and speak about a story. And we share it for you. We're talking for you.
Mhm.
And you don't have to we don't have to say your name or nothing like that. You can speak to Jameer, he the pioneer of this, or Chanel and I. Then we can reach back to Jameer about this. And just everybody, please stay focused, man. Enjoy. I hope everybody enjoying this podcast as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even then, even to touch on what you were saying, John, I just think a lot of people, sometimes when you're younger, you're trying so hard to fit in.
Yeah.
And I think as I got older, I learned that it was so much better to stand out, just for the simple fact that sometimes, what is it called? Being in gangs is glamorized,
Yep,
I
And
agree.
sometimes you feel like that's what you have to do because that's all you're surrounded by.
Yep.
When
I
really
agree.
you don't have to do that. You really want to control the narrative of your life, and you also just want to figure out what your purpose is in life. So many people walk around not knowing what they want to do, or they have all these ideas but they don't even try to execute it.
Right. Right.
So you really just got to believe in yourself, surround yourself with great people, positive people, and even people that's doing better than you. Because honestly, if you're the most successful person in your group and you don't feel like you're that successful, you really need to surround yourself with people who is doing what you're doing twice as much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, just to touch on what you were saying too, Chanel, about the negative stereotypes of the black and brown children in Chester. It's really sad because it's so much positivity in Chester, and if I feel like only the negative get a spotlight. Every time the Daily Times newspaper come out, it's always it's a shooting here, a shooting there, but they're not talking about the great things CMP is doing for the community. Tandem Weekend, which is not too long ago, where Jalil Beats
shout out
came
to
in.
Jalil Beats.
Yeah, shout out to Jalil.
He's doing a lot of major
A lot of
things in
positive
the city,
things.
man.
Can I just
No,
take
yeah,
a
you
second
can.
to shout him out? So I just want to say, maybe it was last school year. He came and he talked to like a group of maybe like 20 students.
Okay.
It was through our mentoring group that we do at the school, Project Help, with Mr. White. He's been helping our young guys and our young girls, like, you know, try to get themselves together. So anyways, I want to just, you know, shout out to Jalil, because when he came and he did his session with the kids, let me tell you, he didn't bring no entourage, no cameras.
Yeah.
I don't even think I heard about it since then. But the kids was so blessed, and they sang for him, read for him. He told them about his ventures in real estate, so he wasn't even trying to glamorize like the music. He was just like, listen, you gotta have an alternative plan. Like mine is real estate, and yours could be whatever. So I just want to shout him out because he real humble, and we had a really good time. I think it was like an hour or so. Right before his show start, I mean not his show, his store opened. It was right before his store opened last year, maybe a year and a half ago. But I just want to shout him out real quick because that was real nice of him to do that.
That's dope.
He didn't have to.
And on top of that, I feel like he's so humble. You know, I feel like a lot of people who will probably get put on from the, well, I don't want to say a lot of people, but maybe people wouldn't come back to the community as much. You know, so again, shout out to Jalil Beats for that. And also, I do like the fact that he was trying to get children to understand it's other paths you can take in life. Now, no disrespect to, like, you know, the musicians, the rappers and everything, but the ball players, the sports, because I feel like it's so many other things that we can do as Black and Hispanic people. You know, it's so many other avenues, which is why, you know, one of the reasons why we started this podcast, because we want to also bring on Black business owners so we can show the little girl, the little boy, that you can be more than an employee. You can actually be the employer. You know, you can hire people. You can actually what they say, if you don't follow your dream, you will help somebody else build their dream. Yeah, and that's so true. And that's another reason why John is on this podcast, because he's a current business owner. You know, so I want to just get into a question I want to ask both of you, and then I'll answer it next. What are some things about the culture that you would like to change personally?
So me personally, I just think I would like to change the culture of communication. So I was just talking to one of my friends about this. Like, we've always been told to just shut up and don't talk, just listen. But I feel like everybody has something to teach or something to learn.
I agree.
And so if we telling people to shut up and don't say nothing, then how we going to grow as a culture? I also think that, like you said, we came together and we did stuff together, we've been more successful. $1,000 from 10 people goes a longer way than just your $1,000.
Exactly.
So, like, if we was in that mindset, then we could probably be like Chester. You buy the block back from whoever. So, like, if you did stuff like that, then we could be proud to call ourselves Chesterites or whatever you want to call yourself. But we could have pride in knowing that we stuck together as a community, and this is ours, it's not theirs.
Exactly.
So that's something that I wish everybody could get on that wave. Like, I honestly, I had so many ideas that like require at least 10 people to come together, but people don't want to do that. They want to do their own thing. And I mean, that's fine doing your own thing, but I just think it's better together.
Yeah, you are better together, and I feel like a team, because that's my thing, even with this podcast. Even though it was something I thought of, I knew that I needed a team behind me. I knew that I needed 2 other opinions on there that can actually make it more diverse, you know. And then even on top of that, what you were saying about you know, like owning property in Chester, like so many of us claim, or people claim to be from certain hoods and everything, but it's like, okay, you're from that hood, but what do you own in that hood? Like, what do you own? Do you own any houses?
They don't even got their cars in that hood.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, people are out here shooting with no life insurance. You feel me? Like, it's like after you die, you're not even thinking about how your family is going to bury you, you know? So I just feel like we just really have to change our mindset, and again, not have that crab in the barrel mindset, but just come together and just build each other up. You know, it's so much negativity already in the world. The last thing we need to be doing is being negative towards each other, you know? So, yeah, so even with you, John, what are some things, or I guess one thing you would like to change about the culture?
Mentality. And the reason why I say mentality is because like I'm gonna touch on what Jameer just said. You know, a lot of people dealing in the streets, but at the same time, we don't have a lot of opportunities out here. You know, and what is opportunities, people just don't go looking for them.
Yeah.
But I always say, if you create your own opportunity, you don't need to go look for one.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? I feel as though, you know, I'm gonna get off topic a little bit. People out here hustling in the streets, you know, you doing this, you doing that. Don't you think you could do something positive and do the same thing? It's the same approach. If you hustling one way, you telling me you going to work every day, it's hustling. It's the same thing. You know, just follow a different lead. The same way you want to go grab that gun and do something to somebody. You know what? Put that gun down and say, you know what? It's over. I'm done with it. It's easier. It's harder to be better. And it's easier to be like, you know what? Yeah, I'm gonna go get this bull. Right? Yeah, I'm sick of this stuff. I'm gonna lay him out. Give it up. Because all we're doing working for the government is a government scheme to keep us down. The mentality is everything. That's like me telling somebody who's real young, you're never going to be nothing. Since they so young, they're going to look at you like, oh, yeah, I'm never going to be nothing. So they're going to grow up terrorizing the inner cities where they come from. But if you tell that young man, listen, man, you beautiful. Even a young man, yeah, you beautiful. You inspire me. You can be great. They're going to look at you like, man, really? So they're going to, as somebody who grasps that, they're going to look at you like, all right, that stuck with me, because a lot of people done stuff for me. Like, you know, one of my guys named Jamil B. You know, he been on here before. You know, he gave me the passion to start barbering. People don't even know I used to be a barber. You know, and then I got rid of that, started doing construction. He showed me how to start doing construction. So, you know, people gave me platforms, and I could have been like, all right, whatever. But now I started them and did it, and then some things I pursued, some things I didn't. But, you know, even my father, he gave me so much work ethic, you know, and I appreciate that. You know, and I think that's what we lack too, you know. Fatherhood in inner cities. Like, if I see a young man doing something, like for instance, a couple of days ago, I was coming home from work, and I was picking my son up. But before I picked him up, I seen these two young boys talking smack, and I got out the car. I said, "Yo, man, what y'all talking smack to each other for like that?" Oh, he something about this video game and stuff. I'm like, "Oh, it ain't that deep." I'm like, "Yo, that's your boy." He's like, "Yeah, that's my friend." I'm like, "Take these $10. Y'all go somewhere to the store, talk it out, and hash it out, because y'all would never grow like that with each other."
Yeah.
You know, mentality is everything. And the young man, he's like, yeah, but he stole my bike. I mean, he stole my controller. And I'm looking at him, don't worry about that. See if he really did it or not. Yeah. Then I walked away. I don't know if they really figured it out. But I just get out the car, and then, you know, the guy looking at me across the street, the older guy, he looked at me and said, "Good job, young man." And I was just more like, you know, it's not even, for me, it's my purpose to help people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
My whole thing is the youth, man, these young kids. We lost, you know, and I say we because I'm part of them too. But we from the same community, so mentality is everything. The same way y'all want to be out here, you know, living that life, it's okay. Y'all want to live that life, but leave these people alone, these young kids alone, because that's what we're trying to impact.
Exactly.
You know, and to be honest with you, give it up.
Yeah.
That's all.
And I guess for me, something I would like to change about the culture, kind of sort of what John would like to do. And I already said it before, is just mental health, like just taking care of your mental health.
Yes.
I'm a product of that. You feel me? I have pretty bad anxiety, you know, PTSD sometimes, and I went to therapy for that. And I can actually say that it really helped. You know, sometimes you can try to express that to a family member, and, you know, they might just tell you like, oh, go take a nap, you know, go drink a ginger ale, you'll be fine. It's like, no, I need something more than that.
Yes.
And even what you were saying about how you take the time to actually talk to your students. Sometimes some students don't have nobody to talk to.
Yes.
You know, so you're out there just, you feel alone. You may not actually be alone, but you feel alone. And I had to get to a point where even when I was growing up, I didn't feel like I had a lot of support. But then I also realized that, you know, I had a single mother who was trying to raise 6 kids on her own, so it was only but so much she could do. You know, as I got older, I learned to forgive her for certain things, you know. Still some things that I feel like we can work on, you know, work out, but just don't be afraid to reach out to someone to talk to, whether it's a therapist, whether it's a counselor like Chanel. You know,
or
just talk to somebody.
Yeah,
or another person. Like they say,
you know?
surround yourself with good energy.
Yeah.
You know, you have to. If you don't surround yourself with good energy, then you're gonna wonder why your energy is always messed up. You know.
And I talk to a lot of people from, you know, different areas in the city, well, you know, different hoods and whatnot. And, you know, it's crazy because they, you know, we communicate and it's like, you know, I always try to encourage them. Mainly people from where I'm from. And I try to encourage them. You know, I'm like, look, man, we can do better than this. Man, I ain't got to be out here all day. And sometimes, you know, I get out the car and then, you know, people are like, oh, why you getting out the car? One time I went live and people start, you know, hitting me up, yo, you good? And it's like, yo, it's not even like that. Like, I'm coming out reminiscing about where I come from because I was looking for more passion, more desire. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I always seek that. You know, what can push me further to the next step? And then that same night, I had some things that start coming to my head, like what can I do more business-wise to hire somebody, or even bring somebody on these jobs. 1 week, 1 week you off, then 1 week you on, depending on the schedule and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And my whole thing is, starting in 2020, what I want to do is start a youth program doing construction work. Because that's how I got in the construction field too.
Yeah.
Mr. Gerard Thomas, thank God for him because he started this construction program called the City of Promise Initiative, which I told you guys before.
Yeah.
And it was so people didn't even know about that. And I'm like, yo, this dude right here, he's like God right now. I'm like, yo, man, you doing this for free? And not too many people was even there. I'm like, yo, y'all tripping for free. And he was dedicated. I mean, day in, day out, dedicated. Him and his wife was always, they never missed not one day. I remember one time he was in there sick, still teaching us.
That's nice.
So that's when I felt that passion and dedication there. I knew, I was like, he could turn something ugly to beautiful, and that's our community. Right now we can do things ugly, but at the same time, it's what's behind ugly beautiful. You just rip it off.
Yeah.
And that's how I look at construction.
And even with media, like even what you said, I want to be able to open up recreation centers for kids. I feel like if we had more things to occupy ourselves and stay busy, maybe there wouldn't be as much violence going on. But then again, I just feel like it probably would still be going on, but it would probably be, not as much going on.
Yeah.
And even on top of that, just believing in yourself. That's one thing that I think a lot of us don't do. We don't believe in ourselves. I was someone who was always worried about what people thought of me. Always was like, oh, I don't want to do this because people might think that. You feel me? And I was driving myself crazy, worrying about what other people thought. When I had to realize, listen, you only got one life.
Yeah,
if I spend it worrying about what people think, you feel me? And then you know what they say, what people think of you is none of your business.
Yeah.
It's really none of your business.
That ain't true.
Exactly.
That has nothing to do with you.
Yeah, and something I like, they say, what is it? Your character, what is it? Reputation is what people think of you, but your character is who you truly are.
Right.
And when I learned that probably like last year, honestly, at 25.
It's all good. No, it's all good. It's all good. That's
Yeah.
all good though. That's all good. Because everybody learned different. And like Jameer, when he brought, like I said before, when he brought this podcast to me, I was like, wow. Because now I feel as though I'm very, because I'm outspoken. But now I'm like, now it's a platform. I already knew about CMP Radio, before. But this now we have a true platform to speak.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, and we all come from the hood. We all from the hood,
Yeah,
so we all know what the struggle's about.
Yeah.
We all seen certain things that we should have never saw. But you know what? It's all about growth, man. And I shout out to these people, individuals like us.
Yeah.
That's working full-time jobs, still doing things. And shout out to a lot of folks that still working full-time jobs and still trying to get their business off the ground. That's dedication. What we doing, we have dedication. So, man, let's keep grinding, y'all. Let's keep grinding, man.
Yeah.
And something that I do see a lot of people starting businesses, whether it's a
Let's
t-shirt
shout out
company.
the
Shout out to all those
Yeah, shout out,
entrepreneurs.
man. Big up.
We're going to do like a shout out.
Yeah, we gonna do that. You got something to shout out right now?
I just want to shout out my classmate, Deja Monet.
Hey,
Oh,
what is it? Dare to be different. Yeah, Dare to be different photography.
She did tune in. She did give us a little shout out, so let me shout her back out.
Yeah.
Because Deja always been a cool one, and
Yeah,
I
I'm
really
more
love
than two
what
shouters
she's
out.
doing.
Yeah.
Yes.
And also, even someone who was doing photography for a few years, Naisha Bullock, that's in our class. She's doing her thing. I feel like Breon, is it Harden?
Brian Foster,
Brian Foster, yeah.
He doing his thing with the construction. Me and him got ties together. So yeah, me and Breon definitely talk a lot, and he definitely inspiration by himself. You know what I'm saying? He's doing a lot of big moves.
Yes.
Respect out to Breon Harden.
Yeah.
And everybody that's got a business, man, reach out to us. Man. We want you on here.
That's what this platform is for. We really want to show the youth that, like we said earlier, you can be more than just what you see on TV. There's so many ways to get money out here. You feel me?
Yeah.
And a lot of us wait 2 weeks for a paycheck. You feel me?
Yeah.
And that was me for the longest. Like, God damn, like, I gotta wait 2 weeks for this paycheck, especially after I pay my rent. He broke down there that day. You feel me? So just know it's multiple ways to get money out here. You feel me?
Stay focused.
Yeah, stay focused and
Stick with
again, believe in yourself. That's just the number one thing is to believe in yourself.
Stick with it.
Oh, sorry, I didn't knock my camera down.
Go on.
Yeah, bang, bang. You know what I mean?
And also, man, the main thing is don't give up.
Yeah.
It's gonna be times where you gon' like when I do this construction stuff, man. People don't realize everybody. Oh, you got a construction business, but y'all ain't never had to deal with the struggle side of it either. Like, yeah, man. I'm like, you know what? It's going to work out. Just keep grinding.
Yeah.
Don't give up. I know there's gonna be times you want to give up, but just don't. And think about why. You know, what's your pain? Why you started something, and figure out why you started it, and keep pushing.
And keep
Exactly.
that being,
Keep pushing.
you know.
And even realize that failure plays a big part in success. You
Yeah.
know,
Ooh,
you might feel like you
yes.
failed. Like even with starting As the Culture Turns, you know, like I said before, John and Chanel was on it. I had a whole different group of people on there, and when that didn't work out, I almost gave up on it. You know,
Yeah.
I had my good bro Ed around just to kind of keep me motivated.
Yep.
Even some women that I work with, Miss Helen. She was always someone that would pray for me and just tell me you can be bigger than this place. Even where I work at right now, she will always tell me, don't get stuck here.
Right.
I had people that would tell me, you have a bigger purpose in life. And this was back when I didn't really believe in myself. So when people kept telling me, you don't belong here, you don't belong here, I'm like, you know what, maybe they are right. You feel me? So it made me start to work on As the Culture Turns, again, and I just wanted to sit down and like really plan it out, structure it out, and reach out to the right people. I was paying attention to what people were posting, like John and Chanel, and everything they were posting on social media was always about bettering yourself or just trying to help the community out. And I feel like that's the type of team I needed around me. So I always say thank you all for helping me, make this vision come true, because honestly, I almost gave up on it. You feel me? And just thankful that I had great people in my corner just telling me, like, yo, just keep at it.
And mention why. Sorry for cutting
No,
you
you
off.
good, you good.
And mention why you almost gave up. That's
almost,
important too.
I almost gave up because honestly, like, it was number one, I was really nervous. Kind of nervous right now, but really nervous about like I said, caring what people would think.
Right,
Negative comments. But you gotta realize people gonna talk anyway. You feel me?
Yeah.
So it's just better to ignore that.
And what made you get over that hump?
Honestly, like having I got a little bit more into prayer.
Okay.
Just praying to God and just believing in myself and just not allowing the negativity around me to take over.
Right. Right.
But also just wanting to make my family proud, but overall making myself proud. So when I got over that hump, and when you both said yes, that's when I knew, okay, bet it's a game.
Right.
Even before we came on CMP Radio, I was still trying to figure out where we going to do it at, how we going to shoot it, because I ain't really have much equipment, And when I decided to reach out to CMP Radio, they already had the equipment and everything, and exactly. So with that, it was like, okay, we came here, we pitched the podcast. Pierre loved it. Shout out to Pierre.
Yeah, shout out to
Yeah,
Pierre.
exactly. Shout out to Pierre. You feel me? Because he's the CEO
Right.
of
He gave-
CMP Radio.
He gave people platforms, like even Yes God, man, like with the rap industry, when he started, he gave people platforms. So shout out to Yes God as well, because he gave people, all right, I can start rapping. Just watching his videos, he inspired people by himself. And shout out to, like y'all said, to Pierre, man, because he's breaking barriers, doing this now where we can sit here and be vocal, and be expressive. That's the beauty in itself, man.
It is.
That's dope. That's big, man. That's so dope.
Yeah. So overall, like again, thank you all for joining. Me with the podcast, but Chanel, I want to ask you something. Or well, actually, both of you.
Okay.
We did talk about what are some things we want to change about the culture. What do you plan to bring to the podcast as an individual? I don't know if we already kind of said that, did we? In a way?
Kind of, sort of.
Kind of, sort of.
I just feel like I think that I bring good vibes. Like, I'm a pretty open person. I don't bring a lot of drama. So if y'all here watching for drama, y'all ain't gonna find it.
You ain't gonna get it here. You feel me? Go to the T show.
We ain't got none of that.
We
We
won't do tea.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just feel like I bring positivity to the show, and I think that I bring the perspective of our youth. Like I could simply ask somebody like, well, what do you think about this topic, and they could just tell me. So like, you know what I mean? We don't gotta sit here and guess about how they feeling about what's going on in the streets, or how they feel about what's going on in their community, how the parents are, whatever like that. And I'm not sitting up here about to talk about nobody's parents, because I'm not a parent, and I feel like I don't know y'all struggles, so I can't do that.
Yep.
But I just felt like I could bring it to the show. I could bring some perspective to the show, especially when it comes to the education system and just just the district in general. I'm not going to be speaking on behalf of the district, but I can speak on to like the policies because that's public information.
Yes,
so if you're unaware about it, we can talk about it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Most definitely.
And that would be a beautiful thing to talk about. You know what's going on with our school district later on down the road. We don't have to get in depth into it, but like certain things we could touch base on.
Yeah, we can talk
if we
about
agree
it.
to it later on down the
Yeah,
road.
you know, we
which
can
I'm
talk
sure we
about
will.
We can talk about it, but for real, I'm really just excited.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I'm excited. We got some good stuff to talk about, and I'm really, really excited.
And this is not the first time we meet, y'all. We met twice, and listen, it was supposed to be like only an hour, and it was like 5
3
hours in
hours,
Wendy's just talking. You know what
Shut
I'm
down
saying?
Wendy's the other day. Shut down
The
Wendy's.
other day.
We was in there like,
They was looking at us like, when they gonna leave? We're like, nah, we
you
ain't
know when
ready
they
to leave
start
yet.
cleaning up
Listen,
and mopping around you.
But listen, I ain't had no power at the crib. So
You're like, listen.
the storm cut off my power, y'all. So I was like, I'm cool. I'm
cool. And I'm in the
I could be
air.
here all night. Nah, that's good. But like, you know, even like I said, like as an individual, just doing something like this within media, something that I always wanted to do, and like I said a little earlier, I never felt like I could achieve it.
Yeah.
And you know, I feel like I'm just thanking him like 1,000 times. But again, just thank you to CMP, because when I reached out to him, he was very open about hearing me out. And once he heard me out, it was like, that's a go. You feel me?
Yep.
Yeah.
He expressed that, you know, we had something different. That's how I would say. We had something different
He
than
did
other
say that.
shows, you know. And shout out to the other shows. I do
Yeah.
watch the other shows like the Ladies Brunch and all that. Shout out to them because I just feel like like we was doing shout outs. I want to shout out Crystal.
Yeah.
Burrell, you know, she's someone who she got the missing plug thing going
Doing a
on.
lot of good things.
Yeah.
Also 2011.
Hey, 2011, you already know.
Yeah,
And
a lot of good things.
I wrote her personally, like, listen here, seeing you staying consistent with your brand actually inspired me as well. You feel me? So again, shout out to Crystal. That's a lot of what we will be doing on here, shouting out positive people making a change in the community. And, you know, people that just wanna, like, we inspire the youth, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I got a question right here for the both of you too. And it's kind of touching on what we're talking about. It say, are you a dreamer, a doubter, or a doer?
Go ahead, Chanel.
Come on.
Ladies,
All
go
right.
ahead, girls. Ladies
Want me to
first,
go
man.
first?
You know that?
You wanna
Ladies
go
first,
first?
man.
I feel like.
Or I'm sorry, can I rephrase it?
Sure.
Do you remember the time when you were a doubter and then a dreamer, a doubter, and then when did you become a doer?
Okay, so I've never been a doubter
All right, that's good.
because I'm an optimistic person by nature, but I have been a dreamer.
Mm-hmm.
But then the last few years, just working in the school, I had to be a doer.
Mm-hmm.
So that like pushed me out of my comfort zone.
Mhm.
Because I wouldn't really want to say I'm an outspoken person. Like I normally stay on my little shell. I go to work and I come home. But I just been pushed to have to do things and have to be in the forefront. So it kind of is just what I do now. So so I've never been a doubter. Was a dreamer. Now I'm a doer.
That's what's up. How about you, John?
I'm both. I'm a dreamer. I'm still a dreamer now, and the reason why I say that is because the way I think and the way I set my mindset up is okay. What I have a vision. I can think like I have a very deep perspective and vision. So I'm a dreamer and a doer. The reason why I say I'm a dreamer first because I dream about something, and if my heart and my spirit feel it, sometimes your spirit talk to you. So a lot of times, my spirit talk to me. Maybe that may be weird, but
No, it's
I
not.
listen. Yeah. Some people may not understand that, but once I feel it and I dream about it, then I feel it, then I go execute it. And then I put I'm very detailed, and if I have a good crew, like one of my close friends, Albert Campbell, if I got an idea and I hit it to him, I'm like, yo, let's do this. I got this plan, and I set myself with people. We can go. Like I said, I'm a dreamer and a doer. Like I had dreams and aspirations, but I know I can't dream about it because I'm gonna fall asleep. I have to do it.
Yeah.
And that's for anybody in the world in general. You have to dream and do.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have a dream, then what's your vision?
Exactly.
You know
What
what
are
I'm
you
saying?
working towards?
What you working towards? So you gotta have a dream, and the dream don't gotta be always so big. It can be the small dream you
Yeah.
want.
Like if you want to be the manager at McDonald's, go after that dream.
Yeah,
There's
go
nothing wrong
make
with
me
that.
a
you know?
McChicken, I eat it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I buy the McChicken. You know what I'm saying? But like all jokes aside, man, I'm both. I'm a dreamer and a doer. And I was a doubter before. Like let's not leave that out. I was a doubter before because before I got when I was younger, I always was a doer though. And sometimes you do doubt. And
I think that's human nature.
that's
sometimes.
human nature
You doubt
itself.
yourself.
Sometimes I do. And to this day, I'm 27 years old, and I'm like, damn, sometimes I do catch myself doubting. I'm like, you know what? Just do it because that's the only way you're going to learn.
Exactly.
And by doing things and working towards things. So I'm on 3.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Look,
I'm on three.
I am too. That's what I
I'm
was
on
gonna
three.
say.
You know what
I'm
saying?
actually all 3, and then I think that's why I'm real big on surrounding myself with great energy. Because when you do get to that point of doubting yourself, you go talk to someone, they can get you out of that. You know,
Yeah.
and sometimes your mind is set up to work against you. You know, you can be happy about doing something, and then it's like, you know, the angel and the devil on the shoulder.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
it's like the angel like, go after your dreams, go after your dreams.
Yeah.
And the devil is like,
Yeah.
what dream? You feel me?
Yeah,
Like, what the hell, what
yeah.
dream you trying to go after?
But don't you feel as though that's Chester itself? You
Yeah,
got
I was
the devil.
gonna say
Yeah.
that don't even
Good.
gotta be the devil. That's people.
Yeah,
That's people
just
in
in
general,
general,
you know what
yeah.
I'm
It
saying?
ain't the devil.
And like, but like Jameer said, man, I think people afraid to pray.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, man, y'all better pray for y'all blessings because even waking up and be able to see and walk
Mhm.
itself, you know, is a blessing. You know, I have a friend that he can't walk; he's paralyzed.
Mhm.
You know, due to gun violence, and he was one of my closest friends growing up. And I'm like, dang, he can't even walk.
Yeah.
You know, so
Mhm.
like, you know, just appreciate that getting up and walking, like
Exactly.
that kind of stuff is very. You can't get back. You can't get back on precious things like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like even this, you know, it's precious to me now because more than anything, it's like we building now.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know, the foundation was set with Jameer.
Yeah.
Now we building.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you know, thank you.
No,
I know,
thank
right?
you.
I'm really thankful. I'm like really excited. I can't stop saying it. Like I really am excited.
Yeah.
I'm really thankful that Jameer even thought about it.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Because I would have loved to do a podcast, but maybe I wouldn't have like a name like As the Culture Trend.
Right,
I
that's
like,
so
that's a
dope.
strong name.
That's a dope.
Like,
Hey.
What made you come up with
That's a
that?
strong name. Let's start
Honestly,
there.
What made you come up with
As
that?
the culture turns, obviously everybody know about As the World Turns, the soap opera, but I just knew that, you know, the podcast had to be about the culture,
Yeah.
and I knew I wanted to change it in a positive way.
Yeah.
So it just came to me one day, you know, and it was just like, I don't even remember the exact moment when it came to me. I just remember like, as the culture turns, and I just kept on saying it because before, when I was doing it with the other group of people, it was called when we link up. You feel me? And that was a cool name too and everything. But I wanted the name to really just like, you know, solidify what the foundation of the
Yeah, well, you
podcast would
picked
be.
it.
You feel me?
Yeah, you picked it.
Yeah,
though.
that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying, and
Yeah,
even that, and I didn't want to answer the question about the dreamer, doubter, or doer because, like I said, I feel like I still have a little bit of all 3 in me.
Mhm.
I feel like the doubter is kind of getting pushed out.
1%.
Yeah, 1% doubter. But even to touch on dreaming, I just remember always dreaming. Like you ever daydream in your head so much that it's like it felt so real.
Yes.
And it's like having a great dream and then you wake up from it's like, oh damn.
Back
You
to
know, back to
reality.
reality. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like I'm a big dreamer, you know? And I feel like with dreams, if you don't have a dream, wait, first of all, have the dream, but after the dream, you gotta have the goal
Yeah.
and everything. You
Yes.
know, so many people got vision, but they don't have what's the word? So many people so many people have sight, but they don't have vision. You feel me? So even with this podcast, I always had a vision for what I wanted it to be, and it's not. We all agreed it's not even about money. You know, it's just
No.
about being able to touch the youth in a positive way. You know. And I guess I'm a doer because obviously we right here doing the podcast right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah,
So
right.
I eventually became a doer
Yeah.
when I stopped caring about it. It's not even caring about what other people thought. It was just my mind playing tricks on me. You feel me? My
Yeah.
anxiety
Oh,
was really
yeah.
playing tricks on me. You know, and anxiety is set up to do that to you. So
Yes.
again,
And our environment too.
Exactly,
You know,
yeah.
Also our environment. Let's not
Mhm.
forget that. You know, that plays
Yeah.
a big role.
even in America, we were set. I don't want to say we were set to fail, but
Yeah,
like
we
with the
were.
gym, we were. Yeah, I'm not about to sugarcoat it. Yeah, we
No,
were.
don't
They want us to fail. You feel
Want
me?
us to
And we
fail,
have
right.
to do the opposite of failing. You feel me? And even what I was saying earlier, with your goals, failure plays a big part in success. So guess what? It's like Aaliyah said, get up and try again.
Yeah.
It's never too late. You know, at one point, and we all went through that at 25, but I know you say you didn't really have the quarter life crisis, but at 25, I'm like, oh, I gotta do something. Something has to,
I had
something
I had a
has.
17-year-old crisis though.
Yeah.
18. Yeah, it came early.
Adult crisis.
It came very early, man.
Adult crisis. That's
Yeah.
okay. But let me
Yeah.
just say, Mayor, you gotta trademark that name because if somebody
Yeah.
snatches
Oh,
up
yeah,
As
we
the
definitely
Culture
going.
Trend,
Oh, yo, we
listen,
boxing.
Listen,
We boxing.
Yeah, we boxing.
Pull up,
So
gang.
listen, they already know our name. You
Yeah.
gotta trademark it.
Right,
Right?
right,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yo, do that.
We gotta do that, definitely.
Yeah, do that.
I wish a nigga would.
Yeah.
No, but definitely got you though. Definitely.
Beat him with that McChicken.
Out here, man.
But shout out to everybody that tuning in too. You know, I appreciate everybody, all the
Mhm.
comments and everybody like that. You know.
Yeah.
Where's my mom on here?
I know. Look
You know,
at your mom.
What's up, mom?
Yeah.
What's up, mom? I see my aunt on there. You know, I love my aunt Keisha. You know, she's always been someone who has supported me. You know, have so many talks about with her, doubting myself and everything. She always pushed me. So I see her on your live, John. So thank you for always supporting me and just making me believe in myself.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. And it really do take positive people in your life to like really push you. It'd be like those 1 or 2 people. Like when I was in school, it wasn't that many people telling you was gonna be something. But I remember my 1 5th grade teacher, Miss Newman at Columbus. She would always call me her Spelman girl. And when I was in 5th grade, I didn't know what Spelman was, but I was just like, okay, I'll be a Spelman girl. But then, like as I'm growing up, she was telling me that I was going to be an educated person. I ain't never know that she was pouring that into me. But then, like I internalized that. I'll never forget her calling me her Spelman girl. So it's just people like that. Yeah, it's people like that that's pouring into the youth, and we just gotta continue to keep that going. Because like those old school educators, they cared. They did.
You know, even my 5th grade teacher, you know, Mr. Pielli, you know, he it was crazy because, you know, he was so cool, fun, but he got his point across, and he left the school district. You know, he went back home to New York, and you know, last year I talked to him when we had the thing for Darnell, for the anniversary for Darnell, but he gave us so much life, so young. You know, even cutting class 2:30 to go outside and play football. You know, giving us quizzes and stuff. Listen, study for this 1 week, and when that test come Thursday, I gotta pass it. He done so much for us. You know, so shout out to to my 5th grade teacher too, Mr. Pielli. And
even sorry, John.
No, go ahead.
We talked about him the other day, Mr. Cruz. I feel like Mr. Cruz, he was a history teacher, correct?
Yeah.
And I feel like that was like, and then I had him in 12th grade, and I really feel like that was the first like where I actually got history. You know, like the other teachers, because you can be a teacher, but if you can't really connect with your audience or your students, you're just up there talking. It's like a lecture. You feel me? So with Mr. Cruz, I really want to shout out to him because you feel me. He was someone that always told me. At the time, I was working at Sears, and I was, I wasn't coming to school. I'm like, I got a job. You know, that little $300 job. You feel me? I was skipping school to go to work, and he was always telling me like, that's just your job. That's not nothing you're gonna have forever. And at the time I wasn't trying here. I'm like, okay, I'm still gonna do me. And eventually they fired me and everything within my 12th grade year. They fired me within my 12th grade year.
Sears did?
Yeah, Sears did, and it was like after one call out. Forget Sears. I'm sorry. I know I'm trying to censor myself. I'm sorry.
They do got to wash and dry though.
But even working there, like I realized down the line that it was just a job. You feel me? And it was so much more that I could have put into my education. But I was so worried about getting a quick buck. It was literally a quick buck.
Yeah, that's where I felt.
Yeah.
That's where I felt that too. Dealing with certain things. Even Mr. Cruz, like I said before, like we spoke about Mr. Cruz plenty of time, and he helped me out so much. Even letting me pass on the test, but I had a 65. He was, look, I'm gonna give you 10 points to get to 75. It's like, yo, man, thank you. He done so much for our community. He was a football coach as well for Chester High. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, he was.
Yeah, he was. So and big ups to Mr. Cruz. He left for a better opportunity. But you could tell his heart's still in Chester. He's still, I reached out to him,
yours was too.
and like bigs up to him, man. So shout out to Mr. Cruz.
Yeah.
And take it from there. We got fix Mirror Live, y'all.
Yeah, my bad. What's going on? They just cut me off.
I think you went too long. I don't know.
And then even growing up in Chester, for me, it was fun. Like growing up as a youngin', it was fun.
Yeah.
It was, we had so much fun growing up where where I'm from. It's like, we had a blast. But as you get older, things change and things went left for a little bit for some people. Some things went right.
And even to touch on what you're saying, I remember like even being younger, it was safe to go outside. You feel me? Like
water fights.
Yeah, water fights. But even on top of that, a lot of people.
Winter when the fire hydrant used to be open.
But what I notice nowadays is like a lot of kids is not doing that nowadays, and I don't know if it's because of the violence that's going on. About parents being scared to allow their kids outside.
That plays a part. I think that does play a part.
But I want to let my kids outside.
Yeah.
I need to stay in the house.
But at the same time, I feel as though me being a young parent, like I said, my son's 4 years old, I'm 27 years old. I feel as though as us being parents, we gotta, you know what? We gotta relate to them too. You know, we gotta show them how it is to be fun. We gotta show them how to go outside, play with some sticks, make some water balloons. We gotta show them that too. Cause I tell you one thing, when my son, when I'm with my son, I think I'm 4 too, man. I be doing some dumb stuff with him, man. He look at me like, really, Dad? But I just want him to have fun, you know, and let him know. But also I give him discipline. You know, I give my son discipline. But at the same time, he had so much fun with me, man. Like, that's the best thing that ever happened to me. You know, being a father, but more than anything, just learning from my, you know, from the good and the bad. You know, and I always say, you know what, my bad outweighs my good, because if it wasn't for my bad, I won't be good.
Exactly.
You know, and I always say that, and I'm gonna keep it that way. You know,
and even then, we talk about having the kids more active, and I just remember, you know, learning how to ride a bike. You know, you would know where the game was because you saw all the bikes in the grass and everything. Like a lot of people are talking. A lot of these children, let me say that, a lot of these children today are you know, on their iPads, on the Xbox all day, which I'm not criticizing.
Fortnite.
I'm not criticizing at all, but I do want to see kids, you know, outside playing and doing more of that, you know. So yeah, just I want to get back to that, which is why we started this again, you know, as the culture turns, because we really need to encourage kids, and then on top of that, that's exercise. You know, whether you're riding a bike, you're just running up and down the street.
True.
You know, it's exercise, and it's something that we need to, you know, we all just need to do more of, just in general. You know. Yeah. So yeah.
Anything you gotta add on, Janelle?
Y'all said everything. Y'all really did. You know, I really enjoyed it. And like I said, Mary, thanks for the platform, the opportunity. We're gonna have a lot of fun. We're gonna bring a lot of cool stuff.
A lot of
to CMP.
Exactly.
And, shout out to, and I think that as the culture turn is something that like embodies the cultivated, mature positivity. You know what I mean? So that's just something that we just want to roll with.
And also, you know, we kind of all around the same age group, everybody, you know, up here on this table. So, you know, if you got anything to say, or y'all, like I said, y'all want to have somebody to talk to or do anything, please reach out to us, man. We the kind of people, you know, we're very open-minded.
Very humble.
You know, very humble, certain perspectives. So, you know, just reach out to us. You know, we're a team, and, you know, don't go through nothing alone.
Exactly.
You know, it's okay to speak out, and don't be afraid to speak out, you know, how you feel either. You know what I'm saying? Like, we all said, we about bringing positivity back, you know, to the community and for the youth. You know, that's the main thing for us. You know, for us.
Yep, and even in community, and I might have got this from CMP Radio, but the last 5 words is unity. You know, and that's something that we are trying to do. We're trying to unite everyone together. And also, like I said, this platform will be open for business owners to come on, promote what you're doing, and just show these kids that you can be more than what society tells us we can be. Just even growing up, like not knowing a lot of the things black people invented, like the street light, refrigerators. Like I feel like we didn't know how great we can be, and I feel like that's why it took me at the age of 25 to realize how great I was. You know, I've had multiple people tell me how great I was, but I just never believed in myself. So just knowing that the only thing I kind of learned in school was slavery about black people, you know, which was such something good something good to learn about, but also they should have actually taught us more about the great things.
Yeah, they try to embed it in us instead of, you know, showing, you know, what's real. We all know, you know, it was slavery. But what else was it?
Exactly.
Like you said, they didn't touch on the other good things.
Yeah, all the great things that we did. You know, and like I said, I just never knew that a little black boy from Chester like me, you know, could even have this podcast. You know, so that goes to show, if you really believe in yourself, you can achieve anything. And like we said earlier, just don't give up. Don't give up on yourself. Believe in yourself and just be the best version of you that you can be, you know. I also just want to mention on August 3rd, CMP is having a race-a-thon, you know, so we can get our own radio station, so you can be in the car listening to us. At you know, wherever you want to be, you can be on the road listening to us. So just make sure you come through. August 3rd, what's the time again, Pierre?
9 to 6.
Yeah, 9 to 6. Yeah, 9 to 6.
August 3rd.
We just need to do things like that, and
that's where we can start coming together, put our money together.
Exactly.
And also, also, please support CMP Radio, man. Like I said, man, he's giving out opportunities. You know, we're vocal. Please support. Please support, man. Like, you know, he like I say, he giving us an opportunity to express ourselves, man. Come support.
Black owned radio station.
Please, it's not that deep, man. Just come support. Like,
Exactly.
like if you start in the business, what you want us to support y'all?
Exactly.
Help. That's it.
And
Help.
it's all about supporting and not expecting like a homie hookup. You feel
Right,
me?
right,
I
right.
mean,
Do it from the heart.
I've been guilty of that in the past. I'm not going to
Yo,
lie. It's like,
bro.
what? How much? You know, but I've realized like when someone is putting so much time and effort into their brand or whatever it may be, they have to get that back in some way. And
Yep.
sometimes our prices have to be a little bit higher just to get that return.
Yeah.
You feel me? So again, I've been motivated, and like I said on my timeline, I feel like I just see a lot of entrepreneurs now, you know, just doing great things
Beautiful.
for themselves and finally believing in themselves. You know,
Mhm.
that's just something great that I see. So I just want to continue to encourage everybody to just, you know, keep believing in yourself and keep building your brand, even if it feel like nobody is supporting you. We support you, and also you know, people don't see the greatness at the beginning. You know, sometimes they see it when it's real big. So just remember about number one, my biggest thing is don't have people at your shows who wasn't at rehearsals.
Yeah.
So honestly, if they wasn't there, you go, oh, what? That was a good one, right?
Jameer, he's back, man.
If they wasn't there during a hard time, and even John, what you were saying, like some people don't even see, like people see the construction company you have, but they don't know the countless hours you probably had to do.
Work a couple months, and you know.
Yeah. And it didn't just pop up. You feel me? It didn't pop up. It took
Slow
a lot
progress.
a lot of hard
Slow
time, a
progress.
lot of dedication, and a lot of believing in yourself.
Yep.
You feel
Not
me?
quitting.
Yeah. So just remember, it's always going to be. It's like the snowball effect. You feel me? It's going to get
Yep.
bigger and bigger as long as you continue to believe in yourself.
Put the work in.
Put the
Put the work
Exactly.
in, too.
Put the work in. Don't be afraid to reach out to people. You know, network. Put yourself out there. Get comfortable with being uncomfortable, because I feel like I've been comfortable for too long. You feel me? And I just want to, you know, be uncomfortable all the time, because I feel like that help you grow as a person.
It does.
You know,
It does.
help you grow as a
Sure.
person, and yeah, just continue to be positive in whatever it is. Don't be afraid to support the next person too, because sometimes, like we said earlier, sometimes we are in competition with each other, and we just gotta, you know, bring that unity together and just believe in each other. You know, so I just want to shout out to all the Black, brown business owners out there, and even if you're not a business owner, if you're going to school, if you know working a job and you paying your bills, making sure
Your
that
responsibilities.
you take care of your responsibilities. I want to
Big
commend
ups.
you too, because
Yep.
guess what? It's not easy out here. It's really not easy out here. But guess what? Be thankful every day you get to wake up,
Yep.
and try to thank God as much as you can, because when I started to pray more, that's when I started to see things around me happening. God will give you the blessing, but you got to work for it. Sometimes people just wait to be blessed. You got to put yourself out there.
Yep.
Again, like when I reached out to Pierre, I had Pierre number for a couple of days before I even reached out to him, and I had to just swallow that pill and be like, you know, explain to him what my idea was, and when we met up, he made me feel so comfortable. So again, like I said, thank you, Pierre,
No doubt,
because
bro.
you know that was something that we needed, and no doubt. And then yeah, like what he's doing for the community is something great. You feel me? So just continue to believe in yourself. Be great. You know, yeah, positivity.
You know, we
No.
definitely gonna change, you know, like the culture, man. You know,
Yeah.
like I said, we young entrepreneurs, hardworking people, you know, and positive people. You know, and also people don't forget, you know, always being positive is a hard thing to
It
do.
is. Yo, it is sometimes.
Because, you know, we deal with so much, you know, folks don't understand, we deal with so much negativity, jealousy, envy, hate, whatever, all that, y'all know, all that in that category, but it's so hard to be positive. Even in, you know, certain circumstances, like, yo, you be in a negative situation, but you still think positive, that's how you know you gotta keep pushing,
Got to.
Which
Keep
pushes me
pushing.
back to surround yourself with great positive people,
you know.
and with people that's doing better than you. You know, well, I don't even want to say doing better, but they got the
But
same
they
type
do,
of
yeah,
goals
we on the
that you
same
do. You
path.
know, because
Yeah.
sometimes you can. I remember even when I had this idea and I was probably not around the best group of people, but I always felt like, you know, I had these big dreams, and you know they say when you share a big dream with a small mind, they're going to downplay it. Or
Yeah.
you know, you ever been in a conversation with someone and you're like, you know, you're pouring your heart out, and you're like, yeah, I'm trying to do that, I'm trying to do that, and or you just like, oh, or that's what's up. You feel me? That's when I had to realize, all right,
They're not in the same type of time.
yeah,
like
they're
you
not on
know.
the same type of time I'm on, and
Yeah.
also maybe they're not there yet. You know,
Yeah.
I don't want to discredit them and realize that and say that they weren't on the same type of time, but they probably weren't there yet, which is pretty much the same type of time. You feel me? But Yeah, just believe in yourself. That's just the biggest thing. I don't know how many more times I can say that. Believe in yourself, be great, and just continue to be the best.
Truth.
Yeah, and that too. Living your truth. You feel me? Like, be you. Don't be. I told myself this year, like, I wanted to unapologetically be myself. You feel me? So if that means, talking about having those uncomfortable conversations that we don't have, and people not really agreeing with what I say, so be it. You feel me? But I just want to be as authentic as possible. You feel me?
Yeah.
And I just think that sometimes we try to conform to what society tells us to be.
Yep.
And it's such already a big negative stereotype within our community. You feel me?
Yeah.
So continue to just push through, break those barriers. You feel me? Like, that's what we have to do as minorities. Big group of minorities. Just push each other. Yeah, that's where we at with it though. So
As the culture
As the
turns.
yeah, as the culture turns, you feel me? This is our just want to let them know that this is our first episode. You feel me? After this, we do come back in September where we will be again providing a platform for business owners. So you can reach out to me, Chanel, John. Hell, you can even reach out to CMP. You feel me? If you don't know how to get to us and everything. Yeah. And like I said, and
Let us know.
yeah, don't be afraid to reach out. We're very humble people.
And also let us know, man, how y'all liked our podcast. Because
Yeah.
we got a lot of love so far.
Yeah, that's
You know what I'm
good.
saying?
And
A
I
lot
wasn't
of
even
love.
expecting that. You feel me?
Me
Like,
either,
that
you
was
know what I'm saying?
I'm like, who gonna watch my live? You
I
feel me?
know.
But thank you.
It just shows the support we have. You know what I'm saying? So I love it. I love it.
Yeah.
So thank y'all for tuning in.
Mhm.
So appreciate y'all. Mad love.
Yeah, and again, subscribe to cmpradio.net on
.net.
Facebook. Subscribe, go on YouTube, subscribe, and also just continue to support what we're trying to do. We're just trying to turn something great into something greater.
Give
You
them
feel
that.
me?
Give them that date again. August what?
August 3rd, you feel me?
Yeah.
9 to 6, the
Six.
Race-a-thon on the Avenue of the States, correct?
No, it's right here.
Oh,
Oh,
right here.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
Right here in the press.
Right here, my bad, right
Right
here.
here.
Hey, right here, CMP Radio. Yeah, continue to support. You feel me?
August 3rd, man.
Follow us on Instagram.
Yeah.
Oh, you can follow me at The Right Counselor, WRIGHT Counselor. Thank you.
You can follow me on Instagram at Mirdy, MIRDY, and I think it's 3 underscores after that.
Yeah.
And also Facebook, Jameer Caldwell, JERMIR Caldwell.
You can follow me on Facebook, John LeBron. Instagram, John LeBron. So just simple.
John LeBron.
Yeah, John LeBron. And follow my Facebook page to LeBron Construction. I got some things. Everybody, that's the other thing. People like, why you ain't posting? You know why? Because I'm working.
Right.
People don't see what I'm doing behind the scenes.
Exactly.
So I don't have to post every move I do or everything that I fix. I'm working on a lot of good things. And that's gonna be spoke upon later on after it's done.
Yes.
So follow my page to LeBron Construction, man.
Hey, and again, in September we will have an As the Culture Turns page. So
Yeah.
again, once we get that up,
Follow
subscribe,
us,
follow,
like us.
like us, write us. We accept all constructive criticism.
Yeah.
Like anything that we can do, anything you feel like we can talk about. If you have ideas for topics we could talk about, again, reach out to us. We're all very humble individuals. And even if you were watching the beginning of the live, I just want to give a shout out to my sister. That was her who was singing the song in the beginning. You feel me? My sister Nick and can we see her? We can see her. You see me?
Yeah.
She back there on the DJ thing. So again, and even with that song, I think we're gonna play it again on the outro. But I really want you to listen to the lyrics. Like, it's something that I feel like the youth need to hear. Like, it touched me. It made me cry when I first hear it. You feel me? And I just feel like it's such a great positive song with a message. You feel me? So again, shout out to my sister for providing us with that theme song. I feel like we're gonna break barriers with this show. This is gonna continue to be great. Definitely gonna break barriers.
Yeah.
You
And
know.
thanks to Pierre too for letting us go further than we were supposed to go.
I thought this was gonna be 30 minutes. Where we at?
Where we at?
Hey,
An hour
where
and
we
10
at?
minutes, man.
We hour and 10 minutes?
Yeah.
Hey!
So this is the one.
You
This is
tell
the
us
one thing I know about people that have a good spirit and a good energy, right? I don't put no time limit on that.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you thought you were coming in here for a half an hour.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let you do a full show.
Yeah.
Right?
Ah,
Because
okay.
people need to know who you are and what your message is.
My
Yes.
man,
Thank you,
Yeah, thank you,
Pierre.
sir.
We
Yeah, thank you so
my
much,
man.
Pierre.
No,
Again.
no, thank y'all.
Yeah,
Right,
no,
right.
thank you. You know, again, like I to say, subscribe to cmpradio.net
Please
on
do it
Facebook,
now.
YouTube. That's
Do
where you
it
can
now.
catch all this exclusive content with As the Culture Turns, along with the other great podcasts. Exclusive.
My
You
man
feel me?
Jameer, he went official, man. He went official. My man's
Exclusive
official.
content, you feel me?
Let's go, bro.
Yeah, we
Let's go,
good
man.
though.
And
And
like-
again,
Like Jameer, man, like I said, he brought this platform to us, man, and I felt his energy from the rip. Like I'm a real spiritual, and I feel energy. So when you and I'm looking, I'm ready. I give people eye contact. So when
Yeah.
you gave me that eye contact back, and I felt that energy from you and that positivity. I ain't had no damn. I ain't had no
damn-
choice.
Yeah,
man.
you feel me?
I ain't had no damn choice. I felt like I was obligated to do it. I'm like, I gotta do it. I just
gotta do it.
It's from the rip. I just came to my head like I felt that in my heart. Like,
Yeah.
damn it, let's do it. Hell with it. Like,
Get it done.
just do it.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, that's I felt that. Like, you know, I feel people energy. You know, I can feel like even when somebody's looking down or feeling down, it's weird because I be like, yo, you good? You know, and they tell me,
That's
you know,
true.
what's going on.
Yeah.
But like, I felt your energy, your passion for this.
Thank
I'm
you, I
like, yo,
appreciate
man,
that.
I gotta do it with him. I ain't got no other choice.
Exactly.
I gotta do it.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm the type of person that I can get along with wherever, I can speak wherever, and I'm comfortable. You know, and thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you,
Yeah, I
man.
just-
Thank you.
And again, thank you all, because like I said, I was very nervous reaching out to the both of you. So again, thank you, Chanel. Thank you, John. Is there anything you want to add, Chanel?
I honestly, the same thing I've been saying. As I'm excited, we're gonna have a good time. Like, thanks to Pierre,
Yeah.
thanks to everybody who supported us. Thanks to all the businesses that's gonna come on. I'm
They
already
will
gonna
be
thank
here.
on
People.
in
Yes.
advance. I'm speaking into existence.
Yes.
And yeah, we're just gonna do it.
And I tell you one thing, I could be here all day, man. I'm comfortable.
Yes, I am
I'm
too.
comfortable. I can do this all day, you know. And like we said before, you know, Pierre, you know, he gave us this platform. Just like anybody else, man, y'all can create something, make it happen. You know, like that's why, you know, if you brought that up, dream, doubt, or doer. What you gonna do? You gonna doubt? You gonna dream? Or you gonna do?
Exactly.
Dream and do.
Exactly. Dream it
Dream
up
and do.
and then
You
do
know?
it. You feel me? Execute
And
it.
another thing, you know, people don't even realize, you know, to start an LLC in Pennsylvania is only $200. So them joints y'all buying
Yeah.
for $200, start a business with $200, man.
Exactly.
You get LLC, you done.
You can start a business.
You can start a business
Exactly.
with $200. I'm just saying, you know,
Maybe I'll start
I
it
just want to
later.
get that information out there. I really want to get that information
Yeah, no,
out
that's
there.
good.
It's important because, listen, like I said, $200, man, listen. You can have $250 in your pocket. It's only gonna cost you $200. So that
Exactly.
you got $50 left in your pocket, but now you got a legit business coming in.
Exactly.
Everything certified by the state board and all that. So listen, think about that. Get your LLC for $200.
Yeah.
You know, and
again-
Google it, research, read up on it.
Yeah, and
You
like
know?
what John's saying, like you can be the employer, like I said, instead of the employee. You feel me? Just always remember that. Like I just feel like I learned recently that I can be the employer and I can actually hire people. You feel me? I'm not doing that quite now, but just know that you can be the best you can be,
Yeah.
and just never ever give up on yourself. You feel
Yeah.
me?
Yeah.
And
Protect your
yeah,
identity, man. Protect your identity, your heart, your passion, your protect your family.
exactly.
You know, because that's
Family,
all we
friends,
got. You know,
exactly.
protect that.
Just do that. So again, thank you for tuning in. My Instagram live, people were reaching
Low
out to
battery,
me.
man.
Low battery 2%. Yeah, you know. But again, thank you so much for reaching out. For listening to us again. My name is Jameer, aka Mirdy.
I'm Chanel.
And I'm John LeBron.
All right, and this is As the Culture
Culture
Turns.
Turns, baby.
First episode. We come back September 5th
Chester,
because we're
PA.
gonna be in a new studio.
Stand
when we come
up.
back. So again, thank you for watching. Chester, stand up.
Stand
And
up,
yeah,
man.
you
All
feel me?
positivity, man. Leave the negative stuff out the door. Grow
Exactly.
up. You know, Chester, PA. Stand up, baby. Let's go.
All right, so thank you again. Peace. We out here.
We out.
And listen to this outro, man. We about to do it.
Listen to the outro.
Hey, man, yo, good, man.
Good, bro.
Feel good, yeah. At first I was a little nervous.
Nobody help, but nobody noticed. Nobody noticed. You told me I can go
Good,
through
bro.
what I
You
go
killed
through.
it.
Just say
Thank you, brother. Y'all killed it, man. Y'all did good, man. Thank you, man.
Yo,
Thank you.
You be crying up for help, but
Yeah.
nobody noticed. You told me I can go through what I go through. Just stay focused. Keep a smile on your face.
There we go.
Going through the
Yeah,
much
thank you,
like
bro. I
every
appreciate
day.
it. Feel me?
No
Thank you.
fear, got so much pain inside me.
I know, man, you did
Thank
that.
you. No, thank you. I appreciate it. Yo, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Got so comfortable.
Yeah. y'all made me comfortable.
Exactly, I know. That's why I like let me just
Thank you. I appreciate
The
that.
heart sometimes can be dangerous. My back against the wall, somebody who gon' save me. But I'm not
That's a barrier you just broke.
so for
Thank you.
granted. Just a bit I was
every day.
Yeah, I would.
Don't you let 'em. Till my patience running out, I got heavy. Ask for a team and a promise to my daddy has. Remain humble,
You are. I got that
that's the
feeling.
key.
You got that great
Energy, let's leave. Pour the sprit inside my cup, that's that you say. After that, remember to think my feelings too numb. Be cautious of the signs, gotta let it go. Shaking off the demons, trying to trap my soul. It's okay to fall back, to my business. Watch me say this word is cold, too much envy. One day I'ma sit you down, tell you what's going on. I pray you understand too much
It's just about being
going on.
as authentic
Everybody
as you
feels
can be.
like
And share what you're
Yeah, so
comfortable
out of here.
with.
Nobody noticed. He told me to go through what I go through, just stay focused. Keep a smile on your face. Going through the mush like every day. No P&B, got so much pain inside of me. Yeah. Trying to move on to the next way. He don't hear me. Wish I could call my dog for life.
That'll be something real epic, especially for you and her.
Yeah.
So,
Something that we doing together,
yeah,
you feel me?
that'll be dope. That'll be dope.
Yeah.
Yeah.